Today we're looking at Magic the Gathering cards that fixes everyone's mana. I'm going to start off with Field of Ruin, a card that was accidentally ruined by design. A land that taps for a colorless, pay 2, tap, sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. But then each player searches their library for a basic land card and puts it onto the battlefield and shuffles. Oh, whoops. I guess they didn't really think of the consequences of this card in Commander. You destroy one player's land, but then everyone gets to look for a land. That was a big oopsie. But unless you're trying to help everyone fix their mana. Next up, we've got, okay, Bolt has a very interesting card here. Nobody ever thinks of this line, of this card, but Mycosynth Lattice. This is, yeah, it does work for this. That is 100% true. It's 6 mana artifact. Now, all permanents are artifacts in addition to their other types, but all cards that aren't onto the battlefield, spells and permanents are colorless. And that also, players may spend mana as though it were mana of any color, which is really weird. A card that basically turns everything to an artifact. Everything is devoid of color, except whenever you need to cast those cards. When you need to cast those cards, Mycosynth Lattice it's looking out for you. It's there to help you cast anything, for crying out loud. John apparently had the same idea. Think on the same wavelength as Bolt over here. Next, let's take a look at Hexenort's Toxicrene. Remember, this is going to apply to any card that basically can help people cast their spells. Let's see how Toxicrene works here. It's a 4 mana 2/4 Tyrannid, Reach and Death Touch. But it's got the Hyper Toxic Miasma. All lands have tap, add 1 mana of any color, and lose all abilities. What? Oh, I see. Well, okay. We can add 1 mana of any color, which is good, and lose all other abilities, which maybe is also good for you. You don't have to deal with the damn Urza saga anymore. Depending on what, how quickly you can get this thing in play. Okay, next up, we've got Super Chat coming from Raktus. 6 card artifacts. What about Omen Machine? Let's take a look at Omen Machine. Oh, by the way, thank you very much for a very large super chat. We can donate half of that super chat to somebody here. Omen Machine is a 6 mana artifact. Players can't draw cards. Well, that's a bit of a downer. At the beginning of each player's draw step, however, that player exiles the top card of their library. If it's a land card, the player puts it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, the player casts it without paying its mana cost. All right. If able, cast it without paying its mana cost if able. So you get to fix their mana in 2 ways. You either get the land or you help them cast their cards without even mana in the first place. But we are focused mostly on the lands part of today's show. Axpa says, so cards that give mana everyone on the table or help filter their mana to give them the correct colors, ramp, treasures, something in that direction. Sometimes you guys can be really creative. Sometimes you guys are really, really creative. So we have Orvitus with Clear the Land. Hey there, Mr. DC. Clear the Land is a 3 mana sorcery. Each player reveals the top 5 cards of their library, puts into play tapped all land cards revealed this way, and removes the rest from the game. Holy moly! The Wumpus cards are like always helping everybody. The Wumpus is for the people. You know what? If you need creatures in play for free, if you need lands in play for free, the Wumpus is there for you. Is that what it does? Is it like a big good luck charm? It's the only way I can interpret this type of card. Next, we got Super Chat coming from Phil Goad with the Rainbow Veil. I need to make a Wumpus deck. Basically, Rainbow... We don't... This is not... Do I got this right? Rainbow Veil. V-A-L. Yeah, I could have made the same mistake, Phil Goad. Rainbow Veil, land, tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. An opponent gains control of Rainbow Veil at end of turn. There you go. You need some mana? I'll pass it around to you. Here, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Next, we got John with the Descent into Madness. Sorry, Descent into Avernus. There's a lot of A lot of descent. Okay, the descent into Avernus. Glad I caught that. We have a 3-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 descent counters on descent into Avernus. Then each player creates X treasure tokens, and descent into Avernus deals X damage to each player. Oh no, where X is the number of descent counters on descent into Avernus. All right, look everybody, I'm gonna help you cast your cards, but it's gonna come at a little bit of a cost. For, you know what, in this case, it's like no pain, no gain. Yeah, this is the same thing. If you're not going to take the pain, you're not going to get the gain in mana. There's no other way around this. Teutonic Nightmare is like, but I don't want my mana to be fixed, so it's happy as it was. You also were probably happy with where your life total was before the descent into Avernus came into play. We have got Rakdos, to some degree, Allurin. Okay, I'll sort of count these cards because there's a lot of cards that like cheat stuff into play, right? 4 mana enchantment. Any player may play creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less without paying their mana cost, and as though they had flash. This is not really a free spell sort of show. I do prefer cards like Descent into Avernus. Charging Badger with the Hall of... You know what? You get that super chat. Charging Badger. Compliments of Rakdos. Okay, we got Hall of Gemstone. Hall of Gemstone is a 3-mana enchant. It's a world enchantment. During each player's upkeep, that player chooses a color. Until end of turn, each mana-producing land produces mana of the chosen color instead of its normal color. What? Each mana-producing land? Oh, I see. So if you need, like, quadruple black in your green deck, you want to play a Phyrexian Obliterator, Hall of Gemstone will get you there. It knows how to fix your mana. This is a very interesting card. It's like, if you wanted to play a deck that was like red, 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 blue, 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 blue spells, black, 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 black spells, I guess Hall of Gemstone is the ultimate mana fixer. But also, it really helps your opponents too. Let's not forget about that. It helps your opponents. Okay, we got Indiana Jones with the Gauntlets of Might. From the original set? Hold on, let's Gauntlets. Is it Gauntlet of Might? I think it's Gauntlet of Might. Okay, red creatures get +1/+1. Whenever a mountain is tapped for mana, its controller adds red to their mana pool. Listen, you're helping the red decks speed up. That's the last thing that we need at the table. Oh, great, the red player who's trying to like spew and puke their entire hand out immediately. They got more mana now. How rude. Okay, we got Steve Cooper with Attempt with Discovery. At least one guy with a bad mana base must be desperate enough. Okay, Tempt with Discovery is a 4-mana sorcery. Tempting offer. Search your library for a land card and put onto the battlefield. Oh yes, each opponent may search their library for a land card and put onto the battlefield. But at what cost? At what cost do we do this? Because for each opponent who searches the library this way, search your library for a land and put it onto the battlefield. Then each player who searched a library this way shuffles. So, all right, you all get a land. But just to remind you, if you get a land, I get another land. It's quite the conundrum. Bolt the Emolga says, red players wouldn't have a hand left anyway by the time this comes down. Okay, that might be true. But you got, don't underestimate the top deck Earthquake, all right? That Earthquake comes out of absolutely nowhere. Next, we've got... Let's get Benjamin Berkey with Ace and Abby. What? How does this help other people? Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. No, it only helps you, and doesn't even help you. In fact, it's the opposite of helping you, I would say. It's the inverted helping you. Okay, you got a better card, Gauntlet of Power, not to be confused with Gauntlet of Power. It's the same one. Hold on, is that the card? Oh, Gauntlet of Might. Gauntlet of Power. How can it be confused with anything else? Okay, 5-mana artifact. As Gauntlet of Power enters the battlefield, choose a color. Creatures of the chosen color get +1/+1. Whenever a basic land is tapped for mana of the chosen color, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of that color. Oh, I didn't even know this. So they basically just reprinted maybe to a more flexible state, the Gauntlet of Might. Okay, that's an interesting Easter egg over there. They reprinted Gauntlet of Might into Gauntlet of Power. Christopher B is like, Dream Halls question mark. This is going to work. Okay, 5 mana enchantment. Rather than pay the mana cost for a spell, its controller may discard a card that shows a color with that spell. Nah, I don't like these cards. These are like play for free cards. I let the Allurance slip by. I'm not gonna let any more of these. I like these Gauntlet of Might types. We've had many shows of like play stuff for free. We know what Dream Halls is. We don't. Well, I don't know. Some people know what Gauntlet of Power is, I would say. Kano with, does Song of the Dryad count? Song of the Dryad, a 3-mana aura, enchant permanent. Enchant permanent is colorless forest land. I will absolutely count that. So you, I mean, it will be, so long as it went on a creature, or an enchantment, or an artifact, yeah, this is, you technically gave them more mana, all right? That's more mana than they had in the first place. Helps them cast their spells, helps them curve out, and so on. Song of the Dryads definitely counts. Corbinek, Mana Flare. The old art is better, though. How old do we have to go? The same thing. Just feels old. So 3-mana enchantment. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. That's insane! They were making commander cards as far back as Alpha. We should probably have a show like that. Commander cards in Alpha. Oh my god. Oh my god, what an idea. We'll do that tomorrow. Or like the very few, well, like maybe the first few sets or something like that. This was much worse with Mana Burn. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so back then there was, did they have Mana Burn immediately? I don't remember. I wasn't playing back then. But yeah, during the Mana Burn days, yeah, that extra mana, you had to use it. If you didn't use it, your life would lose it. We got Frosty here with Lithoform Blight. I love how everyone's like, question mark? So 2 mana, aura, enchant land. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchant land loses all land types and abilities and has tap, add colorless, and tap, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color. Yeah, I would count this. You technically are turning their land into a land that can produce any color of mana. Costs them a little bit of life, but it still works out. It fixes their mana. Hey, those quadruple green cards aren't going to cast themselves. Although, to be honest, in green, usually it's not too hard. Lynn Corgi with Assassin's Trophy. This used to see a lot of play. Maybe it still sees a lot of play in Commander. Used to be more of a competitive card, though. 2 mana instant. Destroy target permanent an opponent controls, and its controller may search their library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle. Like, this card completely fell off a cliff in competitive Magic, mostly because I think we cannot afford to give our opponent an extra land under all costs and circumstances. And there's also just a lot of other better ways of destroying things these days. Jiro Cat with Spectral Searchlights. Once per game round for 1 player, I guess. That's more than enough. It's a 3-mana artifact. Tap, choose a player. That player adds 1 mana of any color they choose. Sick! Choose a player. You get to choose it, though. So you get to choose who... you can support the weak link at the table. That player adds 1 mana of any color they choose. That is a fascinating card. It's definitely Group Hug. They did it on purpose. This didn't even come from a Commander set. It came from a Ravnica set. Were they thinking about Commander back then? I suppose so. They're just getting some inklings about it. Okay, we're going to take a look at a lot more cards that will help your opponents fix their mana. And I'll tell you where you can get them from. You can get them from FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to check in the Deal of the Week every single week. We're going to finish this week with 15% off all Yu-Gi-Oh! Sealed products because they sell cards of all games at FusionGamingOnline.com. But don't forget the Secrets of Strixhaven cards, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards, and Lorwyn Eclipse singles. And let me tell you how you get those singles. Those hot singles are fresh and ready for you. With 5% off using coupon code Nikachu at checkout to support the channel and also hopefully save yourself a little bit of money. Everyone loves a deal. Next up, let's take a look at... you can ask someone to counterspell? Jurkat says, it's in my Mana Burn Commander deck. Oh my god. Sort of group hug, but mostly just the one extra damage. That is so underwhelming, I would say. But maybe there's just nothing better out there. If you really need to help them get more... Force them to get mana. Yeah, now I think about that. I don't know how many cards are like this that forces your opponent to get a mana. Okay, we got Rare Blue Skittles with Coveted Jewel. Oh yeah. This thing gets passed around, doesn't it? I'm too used to this card in Vintage, just winning with it instantly. Like, it never gets passed around. 6 mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Tap to add 3 mana of any one color. Now, whenever one or more creatures an opponent controls attack you and aren't blocked, that player draws 3 cards and gains control of the Coveted Jewel. Untap it. Ha! Who's attacking in Vintage? Truth be told, a lot of people are, but... not before this Coveted Jewel deck wins the game. We have Bulky with Urlock of Scorch Thrash. Urlock. How do I spell Urlock? Oh, it's just one. It's just a K, no C. This is the win con for all those cards we're showing today. So basically, so what you're telling me is that we've been building a Urlock deck the entire time? Is that what you're trying to tell me? 4 mana 4/4 via Shano Shaman. Vigilance. A player losing unspent mana causes that player to lose that much life. Mana Burn is back, baby. And for 1 mana tap, each player adds 3 mana. Get to feel like a boomer. A magic boomer, basically. Yeah, Jiro Cat letting us all know. The of Urlock is the commander that does the same but 3 mana for everybody. Mr. DC, cheering crowd. People never say no to free mana. Unless it's unless you're up against Urlock. Okay, cheering crowd. Oops. Okay, cheering crowd is a 2 mana 2/2 human citizen. At the beginning of each player's first main phase, that player may put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. If they do, they add a colorless for each counter on it. Oh, this is a little, I mean, it's a bit dangerous of a type of card. So everyone gets to choose to put a counter on this, but if they do, they get like, so the first person gets 1 mana, but then the second person gets 2 mana, and it just goes up from there. Not to mention, we are buffing the cheering crowd at the same time. Archangel New, how about only had 50% where it works? Chaos Moon, that's fine. Some percent of the, hey, if it works half the time, it still works. Chaos Moon is a 4 mana enchantment. At the beginning of each upkeep, count the number of permanents. If the number is odd, until end of turn, red creature gets +1/+1, and whenever a player taps a mountain for mana, that player adds an additional red mana. If the number is even, until end of turn, red creatures get -1/-1. And if a player taps a mountain for mana, that mountain produces colorless mana instead of any other type. No wonder, I don't know, this is anti-goblins or something? Feels like anti-goblins. Fan Factor says the flavor text should be, if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. With the cheering crowd. I guess so. Instead, it was, we love you, Spider-Man. Most generic flavor text of all time. Islarf with the Curse of Opulence. Curse of Opulence is a red enchantment curse. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, create a gold token. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. Whenever enchant, who gets the? Hold on, whoa! Who gets the gold token? Isn't it just you? I'm enchanting the player. When enchanted player is attacked, I create a gold token? each opponent attacking that player does the same. A gold token is, or is it like whoever attacks? Oh no, is it anyone who attacks the opponent gets the gold token? Whenever enchant player, I don't get it. You and the attacking player both get gold tokens. Ah, okay. Well, sucks for the person getting attacked. Caster gets gold, other opponent who attacks them. Okay, sweet. Fan Factor says, I got this from a random repack from Fred's and my friends hated it. What? Oh, you mean Curse of Opulescence? This looks like a repack card. Everyone will hate this thing. Jirocat says, in multiplayer, it's the person who casts it always gets the token, and then anyone who is attacking also does so. You know what? You guys should have just templated this. It's like you and whoever attacks the player get a gold token. I don't like how this is worded. There's just some Magic cards I could read it 10 times and I'm like, okay, what does this thing do? Is it even better described in the in Gatherer? I don't know. Okay, next up, we got Bab, Keeper of Progenitus. You need mana to cast that Progenitus, I'll tell you what. 4 mana, 1/3 Elf Druid. Whenever a player taps a mountain, forest, or plains for mana, that player adds an additional mana to their mana pool of any type that land produced. Sorry, Dimir players. You're just going to be left out for this one. Also funny, this isn't going to help you cast Progenitus, because you still need the blue and the black. For the most part. I don't know. It feels like a bit of a flavor fail. I mean, it's Naya-ish. It's not Progenitus-ish. Sell the Wreckage. Oh my god. This card has fixed my mana so many times. 4 mana instant. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search their library for that many basic land cards and put those cards onto the battlefield. Tap, then shuffle their library. And so I've been in a lot of situations versus control decks as a mono blue player where I tap with all my creatures, they play Sell the Wreckage, and then they just they dig every single basic land out of my deck. Every single one. I'm not super thrilled about it, but I know I'm just going to draw gas for the rest of the game. My top decks are clean. Felicia, we did Rainbow Veil. Sorry about that. Trisaro with Lava Leaper. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith, especially when it comes through lava. Oh my god, this poor elemental is being chased by demons. There's a 4 mana 4/4 elemental. All creatures have haste. Whenever a player taps a basic land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. Are they forced? Yeah, they are forced. So does a Yurlok deck just play all these cards? Have I just been ignorant to the what Yurlok builds look like? Although I don't know, it seems like if you're playing a Yurlok deck, how do you prevent people from casting, just ramping into stuff and killing you? That's equally more difficult. Okay, Christopher B wants to get in this game. Veteran Explorer. I can say confidently, I have never liked getting ramped by a Veteran Explorer. It's a green 1/1 human soldier scout. When Veteran Explorer dies, each player may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield. Then each player who searched their library this way shuffles it. In no way can I use the lands better than the Veteran Explorer deck can. In no way. And normally when I'm up against a Veteran Explorer deck, it's usually also a Cabal Therapy deck. So they like Cabal Therapy, then they play the Veteran Explorer, recast the Cabal Therapy, and then if I even had something to cast, well, I don't. Not anymore, anyhow. Phil Goad with Overabundance. That sounds like the meaning of the entire show. Overabundance is a 3 mana enchantment. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 additional mana to their mana pool of the same type. And Overabundance deals 1 damage to them. That's a Yurlok card. So we're nailing them in 2 ways. We're dealing the damage, we're also giving the mana to deal more damage. Corbinek says, note to self, Nikachu doesn't like therapy of the Cabal type. That is correct. I don't need their therapy. Therapy turns into anxiety. Toads with the Cryptolith right. That's right. Cryptolith right. Isn't this like a really popular card? Cryptolith right is a 2-mana enchantment. Creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. So all those tokens. Well, guess what? Now they're ramp. How else does this help? So no, it's creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana. No, it doesn't help everybody. Sorry about that. Only helps you, Toads. What about everybody else? We're trying to help everybody else here. These are MTG cards that fix everyone's mana. Now, if it was creatures everyone controls, that would be a different deal. Well, let's look at another Cryptolith card from Screen Hermit, the Cryptolith Fragment. Who knows, maybe this is what Toes was going for. A fun card, but has never transformed for me, LOL. It's a 3-mana artifact. It enters tapped. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Each player loses 1 life. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if each player has 10 or less life, transform this artifact into the Aurora of Emrakul. Very beautiful. It's a 1/4 Eldrazi Reflection, Flying Death Touch. Whenever this creature attacks, each opponent loses 3 life. How does this fix everyone's mana? Add 1 mana of any color. Each player loses 1 life. Oh, disqualified. Both Cryptoliths disqualified. Next, let's get Expa, the Collective Voyage. I personally use that one. Is one of my more gimmicky decks. We all love a gimmicky deck, don't we? It's a green sorcery with the special ability of Join Forces. Starting with you, each player may pay any amount of mana. Each player searches their library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the total amount of mana paid this way. Puts them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffles their library. Imagine playing this like on turn 10. All right, everyone, let's just get rid of all the lands out of our decks from here on out. But it has to be basic land cards. Be serious. How many people out there have more than like 3 basic lands in their commander deck, or even in their competitive deck? It's so some decks can abuse this better than others. Mr. DC, how are you? It's been great to be back to regular streams. It is great for me. You didn't have a card. That's fine. That's fair. We'll donate that to somebody. We'll give it to Arethusa, Avatar of Growth. Avatar of Growth. Avatar of Growth is a 6-mana 4/4 elemental avatar. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each opponent you have. Trample. When Avatar of Growth enters the battlefield, each player searches their library for up to 2 basic land cards, puts them onto the battlefield, then shuffles their library. It's like Veteran Explorer. This is like when Veteran Explorer grows up to be a big elemental avatar, essentially. Fan Factor, Goblin Guide. That is a class. I have to see the original art. I never really was a fan of that new art. I like this one because he looks stupid. He's sort of like, where am I going? He's pointing in the opposite direction. Which way is that? Is this map upside down? It's a red 2/2 Goblin Scout with haste. Whenever Goblin Guide attacks, defending player reveals the top card of their library, and if it's a land card, it puts it into their hand. There you go. Have a land on the Goblin Guide. Corbinek says, my competitive blue-green Turbo Fog deck does in fact have 13 basics. Well then, in that case, you are prepared for the Collective Voyage. There's a lot of people, they super skim. Well, okay. If you're a super budget, if you're like a super budget person, you're gonna have a lot of basic lands. Because who would pay money for like dual lands? That's crazy. But then if you're not on a budget, you're like, what's a basic land? You have like 1 in your deck for demolition field or field of ruin. That's it. Next up, we've got Adeptus. Oh, you got. We already did that one. Sorry, Adeptus. I was like, when we were looking at Toxicrane, I'm like, where is Adeptus for this card? That is such an Adeptus card. Didn't you get a card already, Jirocat? NCY means no card yet. I can't remember though. Wasn't you're the one who had okay, well I'll get to this one later. I'm like 99% sure You're the what is that stupid commander called? You were the Eurolock person. But you can put no 2 cards yet, though, like some other people, just like Kana. See, Kana already got a card. Kana waiting for the second card. You're allowed to get a second card, by the way. But I'm going to clear up everyone who has not got a card yet. Like Gillum with the Jungle Wayfinder. Don't worry, you're just learning the system. Yeah, I just saw. I know. Yeah. So if you're new here, I try to make sure that everyone gets at least 1 card, and then when everyone's been exhausted of 1 card, I'll move on to your second card. Yeah, I get. You're just going with the crowd. Well, I don't know what NCY is, but everyone's doing it, so I'll just go along with them. So it just means you didn't get a card yet. Okay, Jungle Wayfinder is a 3-mana 3/3 elf warrior. When Jungle Wayfinder enters the battlefield, each player may search their library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into their hand, and then shuffle. There we go. Mana ramp for everybody. You know, if you're helping everybody else, I feel like the stats on a card like this could be bigger, like a 5/5, for example. Why does it have to be so weak? Why does it have to be like draft chaff power level, or like in terms of power and toughness? Need definition guides for the chat. What does this mean? No card yet. MC something card something. I have no idea. Okay, we're gonna take a look at more of your cards that help everybody, but I'll tell you how you can help yourself. You can help yourself with Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards on the digital client Magic Online, where you can play Standard, Pioneer, Modern, all the formats that are being shaken up constantly. You don't have to worry about your deck getting banned on MTG Arena when you're playing on Magic Online, when you're renting the cards with Mana Traders. All right, you rent your deck in Standard. All right, what if the whole thing rotated? You just send the deck back and you rent a new one. You can support the channel by renting using coupon code Nikachu_AHL to get 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Okay, we do have super chats here, especially from Rare Blue Skittles with the Kite Sail Larcenist. Is this the pirate? It is. I know my... Well, I shouldn't say I know my pirates, but I remember this card being played on MTG Arena. We have a 3-mana 2/3 human pirate flying in Ward 1. When Kitesail Larcenist enters the battlefield, for each player, choose up to 1 other target artifact or creature that player controls. For as long as Kitesail Larcenist remains on the battlefield, the chosen permanents become treasure artifacts. With tap, sack the artifact, add 1 mana of any color, and lose all other abilities. Okay, look, I basically killed your creature, but like, who cares? You can at least turn it into mana. So, beautiful mana. Basically cremated. Killos, I thought NCY stood for North Carolina Youngsters. Yeah, we love the North Carolina Youngsters around here. Lestian with Kibo, the Uktabi Prince. This is a 3-mana legendary Monkey Noble, the 2/2 creature. Tap. Each player creates a colorless artifact token named Banana. With tap, sacrifice this artifact. Add red or green. You gain 2 life. Whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that's an ape or a monkey. Whenever Kibo attacks, defending player sacks an artifact. Oh, I'm gonna make you sack your banana. So use that banana before you lose that banana. Toads, we did this one. Your luck. Thank you so much for the super chat, though. All right, we're gonna have to donate that super chat, Toads, because we did your luck. In fact, we were just talking about it a few seconds ago. You must have been at the bathroom while we were talking about it. We're gonna give it to Prince. Okay, we're gonna donate to Prince of Winners, the Root Weaver Druid. Root Weaver Druid is a 3-mana 2/1 elf druid. When Root Weaver Druid enters the battlefield, each opponent may search their library for up to 3 basic land cards. They each put 1 of those cards onto the battlefield tapped under your control, and the rest onto the battlefield tapped under their control. Then each player who searches their library shuffles it this way. What is going on here? Each opponent searches just for 3 lands! That's insane! They each put 1 of those... Oh, one of them is going to go to you. Oh, interesting. Judge humans are apes. What are we? We're Homo sapiens? Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't know my genealogy. Oh yes, Nikachu. The Canadian cares extremely about North Carolina youth groups. Is not true. Okay, next up we got Conman with Kane, Treacherous Dragon. Very Kane, Treacherous. Traitorous. Very traitorous. This is a 3-mana 2/4 human knight. Jump. During your turn, Kane has flying. It's a big jump. It must have been an anime-style jump. Whenever Kane deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of Kane. If they do, you draw that many cards, create that many treasure tokens, then lose that much life. Oh my god, you might actually die to Kane. And when you die, I gain control of my Kane back. Next, we got Super Chats. I'm going to donate half of this at the end of the show, Rare Blue Skittles. Okay, Mr. DC decides, you know what, I have a card. It's called Yavimaya Cradle. Just in case people don't have enough green mana, I suppose. It is, yeah, Yavimaya Cradle, legendary land. Each land is a forest in addition to its other types. Okay, we are Homo sapiens, but also great apes. I don't know if we're the great apes. We're we can't even beat a gorilla. We need like at least 100 people to beat a gorilla, in theory. It's not even proven yet. No one's... Anyone want to sign up for the experiment? Vec, From the Ashes. From the Ashes is a 4-mana sorcery. Destroy all non-basic lands. For each land destroyed this way, its controller may search his or her library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield. Then each player who searched his or her library this way shuffles it. Just so we're just... I don't know. Are we really helping them?
No, God, please, no.
For each land destroyed this way, maybe under some circumstances, we're helping them fix their mana. I have a feeling we're not. You'll get the colors you want. I have a feeling I had the colors I wanted in the first place. Just a feeling. I mean, I could be wrong. Yeah, get rid of those silly utility lands. Also get rid of those silly, like, you know, triomes and dual lands. They were helping me anyhow. Oh yeah, we got Fabian here with an offer you can't refuse. Well, I wish I could refuse From the Ashes. That's an offer I didn't need. Okay, Christopher B says, we are not great apes. Humans are worthless and unjust and blights on existence. Not very cheap. So what you're telling me, Christopher B, is we should give power back to the actual apes in this world. Okay, an offer you can't refuse is a blue instant. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. Sadly, every single time someone plays this against me, it's usually a combo deck. And it's an offer, I mean... I'd rather their spell got countered, to be honest. It's usually a response to my counter spell. Okay, Felicia is looking for some redemption here with Krenko's Buzz Crusher. What's a Buzz Crusher? So this is a 4-mana 4/4 Insect Thopter. Flying Trample. When Krenko's Buzz Crusher enters the battlefield, for each player, destroy up to 1 non-basic land that player controls. And then for each land destroyed this way, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Basically in the same vein as that last card. I'm probably... This could fix someone's mana. It also could hamper their mana. I mean... If you're hitting like a non-dual land, non-triome, it's probably fixing their mana. If you're hitting their dual land or their triome, you're screwing their mana. You're messing with them. Note, it doesn't target the land. Enter the battlefield. For each player, destroy up to... Oh yeah, that's right. You can hit Lotus Field, I guess. It crushes the buzzes. It didn't really help me. I guess it kills Thopters. I can only imagine Thopters make buzzing and whirling sounds. Toads with High Tide. Hold on, does that? I think that does help the opponent, right? I don't like that art. I don't know if there's a good art to High Tide though. Is there a good art to High Tide? Okay, I'll go with this one. It's a blue instant until end of turn. Whenever a player, that includes you and me, taps an island for mana, that player adds a blue to their mana pool. We get more than one blue. We got Matt Klosky with Thur Ancient. Thur Ancient is a 5 mana 7/5 beast. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana to his or her mana pool of any type that land produced. I can't believe how many cards there are like this. Tap a land to get a mana. Get an extra mana. Get 2 mana for the price of 1 land. Frosty says, Nikachu, I was making a YMCA joke earlier when I said NC. Oh, why? Oh, I didn't. Oh, you know what? I didn't notice. I didn't separate the. I know what the YMCA is, but I did not separate the no card YMCA part. Yeah, I didn't know. What's the MCA stand for? MasterCard something? No, I've just blanked on it. We got Soth here with Bubbling Muck. This has to be Bubbling Muck, right? I can see your mistake. How you typed it into the keyboard. B and V are right next to each other. Okay, Bubbling Muck is a black sorcery. Until end of turn, whenever a player taps a swamp for mana, it produces an additional black. Well, how is... I mean, I guess this is in the same vein as High Tide. How the hell is this going to help the opponent all that much? Especially since it's until end of turn. Until end of turn, especially my turn. Especially while you're tapped out. Christopher B, not a fan of credit cards. Probably a big fan of... are you a cash person, Christopher B? Would you mail me a super chat? Is that how you would do it? Next we got Ren with New Frontiers. New Frontiers is a green X sorcery. For each player may search their library for up to X basic land cards and put them into play tapped. Then each player who searched their library shuffles it, rewarding the person playing with a lot of basic lands. Yeah. Got a lot of basic lands. This has gotta feel so good to cast this card and your opponent has like only 1 basic land in their deck and you like, I don't know, you went X for 9. Mike comes like, I'm 24 minutes behind. I always say no to cheering crowd unless I'm about to destroy it. I did Field of Ruin already, Soth. Field of Ruin was done. In fact, that's the card I started the show with. We got J-Gra with Urborg. The Tomb of Yawgmoth. In my opponent, this fixes it. This fixes it for everyone because they should be playing mono black. Whoa! What are the commanders in a mono black pool, in a mono black pod? Legendary land. Each land is a swamp in addition to its other types. I actually cannot express how much this card has helped me over my competitive career because I was playing Dismember in a mono blue deck and I always had to pay life unless my opponent played Urborg. And they'd be like, okay, are you paying for life for that? I'm like, no. You got an Urborg in play. In fact, I'm just gonna pay 3 mana. Not spend anything. Next we have a super chat actually from Raktus. It's a massive super chat. Been waiting for someone to suggest Rites of Flourishing. Let's look at Rites of Flourishing. I'll get your other super chat too. But I can wait no longer. All right, Rites of Flourishing is a 3 mana enchantment. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Each player may play an additional land on each of their turns. Basically, so it's like, what's it called? It's Exploration for Everybody? Is that the card? I think it's Exploration. Yeah, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Well, how about for everybody? You know, it's funny. The one that only helps you costs 1 mana. The one that helps everybody costs 3. Very sus. Very, very sus. Okay, I think we're at no 2 cards yet, so we're gonna get Jiro Cat's Victory Chimes. Oops, Victory Chimes. The sound of the beautiful sound of victory. 3-mana artifact. Untap Victory Chimes during each other player's untap step. Tap a player of your choice adds another one of these. A player of your choice adds a colorless. This is an expensive card. It's like $5. This card looks worthless to me. It just looks like a 3-mana. It's just a 3-mana mana rock. But I guess it untaps every turn, so you get some extra mana. It wouldn't be an episode without Mikasun Lattice. Oh, we did that a long time ago. Sorry about that there. Okay, let's do Rakdos' second card. The Heartbeat of Spring. And we'll turn 2 of these Rakdos into donos. Thank you very much for a giant super chat, Rakdos. Okay, Heartbeat of Spring is a 3-mana enchantment. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. Another one of these cards. Good God. You just build a deck with all of these. You just turbo the game super fast because everyone's going to like... Hold on. So these stack, right? So if I've got like Heartbeat of Spring and a million of these other cards that give me an additional land, do we get to a point where I'm like tapping a land and adding 5 mana from it? Easily cast Progenitus. You get 1 colorless mana, don't spend it in one place. That's right. It can be lethal. Archangel Anu with Oath of Lieges. Oath of Lieges. Jirocat says they stack. Jirocat would know. We have a 2-mana enchantment. During each player's upkeep, if that player controls fewer lands than target opponent, the player may search their library for a basic land card. Put that land into play. The player shuffles their library after. This is a cool card. I like this card. It's very interesting. Each player's upkeep, if that player controls fewer lands. It's like, okay, how do we balance the game out here? I can't believe they designed this. This is like another Commander card printed like before Commander existed. Because like during each player's turn, if that player controls fewer lands, I just can't imagine this being played in a one-on-one game. It makes no sense. Unless you really were never going to have more lands in play than your opponent. And you're like always going to let them take the initiative here. Next we got Mappius with the Hall of Gemstone. Oh, we did that one. Sorry about that, Mappius. We did Veteran Explorer. Are we running out of cards here? Alpine Moon. Turiot with the Alpine Moon. Red enchantment. Enters the battlefield. Choose a non-basic land card name. Lands your opponents control with the chosen name. Lose all land types and abilities. And they gain. Add 1 mana of any color. Look. You can cast anything off this thing now. You just can't be like doing anything fancy. Screw your Maze of Ith. Let my dragon through. Jay Gross says, I used to play 4 to 6 player games often back in the day before 1999. A lot of people still do that. I used to be part of a play group. They played multiplayer, and a lot of people, like it could be up to 7 people, no commander. And they actually liked it that way because they said the games were faster. Commander just took too long. This Love wants a redemption with Vazzy, the Keen Negotiator. I like the name. So we have 5 mana, 3/3 Human Advisor, haste. Tap, target opponent creates X treasure tokens, where X is the number of treasure tokens you created this turn. Okay, so we have to create treasure tokens first, and then we give them. Whenever an opponent casts a spell or activates an ability, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it or activate it, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then draw a card. So we cash in on this. Mercenary coming out of nowhere. The Heart Spring of Spring. Is that real? Is that right? I'm just gonna put of spring. The heart. I think you meant the Heartbeat of Spring. This has been done before already. Sorry about that. Voltland didn't get a card yet. Tempting Contract. Tempting Contract. Oh my god. I'd be a little terrified if I was signing something that was glowing like that. Like maybe I'm gonna lose my soul over this contract. 4-mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent may create a treasure token. For each opponent who does, you create a treasure token. Sounds fine. What's the fine print on this contract? Corbnick says, I've never heard players complain that games take too long ever. That was part of the social interaction and fun to play chat with other players. Well, you've got a play group who likes long games. There are play groups that they don't want the game to go longer than an hour because they want to get more games in. If they lose, the more games you get in, the higher the probability that they can win one of those games. If you have one super long game for the entire day, then probably only one person won that day. Okay, Mercenary going to try to get the Gemhide Sliver. What is this, only helping the people who have slivers? This is really borderline here. Gemhide Sliver, 2-mana and 1/1. All slivers, that's right, including all the slivers you guys control, have tap at 1 mana of any color. I guess. I don't know why I would need it, but I could activate Mutavault and then tap for any mana of any color. I have no idea how this helps me, though. Steve Cooper says, don't think of it as a debt. Think of it as an investment in yourself. That's so sleazy. Was that the flavor text? Yeah, don't think of it as a debt. Think of it as an investment in yourself. Signing the contract. Micum also wanted the Gemhide Sliver. If your opponents play slivers, 24 minutes behind. Sorry if it's done. Well, you just missed out, Micum. You're going to find out that you're... well, I mean, if you were paying attention to chat, you would have known. It's all good, though. It's all good. Mappia says, I wonder whether groups who are only in it to socialize mind long games. I think the people who are in it to socialize, they don't even care how long, they don't even care what's happening. I mean, ideally, maybe the games are long to make things, interesting. Steve Cooper, 2 YMCAs. Okay, we have a Purr's Whim. You're going to confuse the new people, Steve Cooper. You're going to confuse them big time. Purr's Whim is a 4-mana sorcery. For each player, choose friend or foe. Each friend searches their library for a land card, puts it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffles their library. Each foe sacrifices an artifact or enchantment they control. Oh my, this could screw their mana. We're basically exchanging maybe our mana ramp for another piece of mana. You have to do the YMCA dance for reading that. I don't even know if can I. Was it YMCA? I can't remember. Look, I'm not 10 years old anymore. They made us do that dance all the damn time. Mappius with Clear the Land. Oh, we did that one. I love that card though. Surefire Selves. Scholarship sponsor. No, we didn't. I don't think we've done that one. Scholarship sponsor. Wish I got some scholarship sponsors. When I was in school. We have a 4-mana 3/3 human advisor. When scholarship sponsor enters the battlefield, each player who controls fewer lands than the player who controls the most lands searches their library for a number of basic land cards less than or equal to the difference. Put those cards onto the battlefield, tap and shuffles. Holy crap! So basically, if one player has 10 lands in play, then we just go straight up to 10 lands. This could be massive ramp depending on the board state. Just massive. You didn't watch the karaoke party part of Shrek? I don't remember. I watched Shrek 20 years ago or something. It's been a long time. Cute art bingo. I had the cute. What was it called? Purr's Whim. It's a pretty cute card for a Magic card. A lot of the Magic cards are cute. I don't know. Does anyone find a Wumpus very cute? I guess it could be very endearing. I don't know. I look at. I think that the people who like find cows cute, they might also find a wumpus cute. People who like grow up on a farm or something. This card has literally gotten me like 10 lands in a pod. I believe it. Okay, we got Gillum with Rankle and Torbran. Rankle and Torbran. 5 mana for a 3/4 Fairy Dwarf. Flying First Strike and Haste. Whenever Rankle and Torbran deal combat damage to a player or battle, choose any number. Each player creates a treasure token. Each player sacrifices a creature. Or, if a source would deal damage to a player or battle this turn, it deals that much damage +2 instead. Ugh. Reading about battles, it's just not my thing. Christopher B says it's a more fair scholarship program than most, since nearly everyone benefits. Yeah, everyone gets. Anyone who doesn't have as much money as the person who has the most money gets that much money to pay for their school. Very, very fair. Kano. Oh, we did an offer you can't refuse. Are you running out of cards? Christopher B with Edge Rover. Edge Rover. A green 2/2 robot scout. Reach. When this creature dies, each player creates a lander token. It's an artifact with pay 2, tap. Sack this token, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So it gives you the potential, the option to fix your mana. The option, not immediate, but eventually. Arethusa with Natural Balance. If we ramp into it. Natural Balance is a 4-mana sorcery. Each player controlling 6 or more lands sacrifices enough lands to reduce their land total to 5. Each player controlling 4 or fewer lands may search their library for enough basic land cards to bring their land total to 5 and put those lands into play. Those players shuffle their library afterwards. If you're low on lands, this is a great help. If you're high on lands, this is not. Oops, sorry. I got this thing in the way the entire time. Mappy is still looking for the first card, the Quicksilver Fountain. Oh, help them with blue mana. Quicksilver Fountain is a 3-mana artifact. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player puts a flood counter on target non-island they control. That land is an island as long as it has a flood counter on it. At end of turn, if all lands in play are islands, remove all flood counters from them. Oh yes, this really fixes their mana, especially if they're not a what's it called? Especially if it's really gonna fix their mana if they're a non-blue deck. We got Barbitar Box with Fertilid. I don't know. We did not do this one. This is a 3-mana 0/0 elemental. Fertilid enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it. And for 2 mana, remove a +1/+1 counter from Fertilid. Target player searches their library for a basic land card, puts onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffles. This is like the ultimate sacrifice. We are literally killing off our Fertilid for the betterment of our fellow players at the table. Happiest. Congratulations! You got a card. Steve Cooper says, landfall player probably doesn't care anyway, since they can likely play lands for from the graveyard for natural balance. Yeah, I guess you're in response to the natural balance. Fertilid is gas in an Atraxa deck. Oh, is the idea like you can so you like crank you Actually, I don't know what you mean by that. You mean like you're proliferating this thing up? And then you can continuously get some lands for yourself? Landfall is the spawn of evil. Well, that's funny because like playing lands is one of the most like basic fundamental parts of playing the game. If I play a land on turn 1, that's landfall. I don't have anything to trigger it with, but basically. Bob Talksbird says, thanks for the stream. Off to the Bridge Club I go. Have fun there at the Bridge Club. Got to balance Magic the Gathering with Bridge. Frosty with a luge. I don't remember the whole name from it. Oh, okay. From Bloomborough? That helps. I'm going to look for the... Oh, Aluge, the Shoreless Sea. This is a 4-mana star elemental fish. It's a big fish. Big sushi. Aluge's power and toughness are each equal to the number of islands you control. Whenever Aluge enters or attacks, put a flood counter on target land. It's an island in addition to its other types, for as long as it has a flood counter on it. The first island or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs blue, or 1 generic less to cast for each land you control with a flood counter on it. So you actually want to put the flood counters on your own lands? Which is weird. You cast this thing for a bunch of blue, then you start flooding your lands. The hell is that supposed to mean? Okay, we got 3 super chats here to donate. Who wants some super chats? Compliments of rare blue Skittles. Felicia with the naked singularity. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is fixing mana around here. 5-mana artifact, cumulative upkeep 3. If tapped for mana, plains produce red, islands produce green, swamps produce white, mountains produce blue, and forests produce black instead of their other types. Usually this does not fix mana at all. Menose, does the extra planar lens we have not done that one, and you will also get a wonderful, beautiful super chat. This is a 3-mana artifact with imprint. Enters the battlefield, you may exile target land you control. Whenever a land with the same name as the exiled card is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. So if it's a basic land, your opponents also get, I suppose, get the buff of that basic land. It has to be a basic land? You may exile, oh, it can be any land. Whenever a land... Imagine exiling your Gaia's Cradle. What a waste. Although it would really buff up everyone else's Gaia's Cradle. Okay, Mappius, you also will get a super chat. Gerrymandering. Okay, whatever. It was a super chat, I guess. It's a 3-mana sorcery. Remove all lands from play and shuffle them together. Randomly deal to each player 1 land card for each land he or she had before. Each player puts those lands into play under their control untapped. I don't know if that fixes anyone's mana, to be honest. That just increases the chances it's just going to be jank. Okay, I'll give the last super chat. We did your luck. I'll give to Hexanort. How about that? Old Growth Dryads. Old Growth Dryads is a green 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent may search their library for a basic land card, put onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle their library. People didn't know if this would be good or bad. Turns out it's probably really bad in... really bad in one-on-one. Interesting in Commander. That is it for today. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. As usual, we do these Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. And also Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for the night crowd. Thanks, everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you use Super Chat to be part of the show, or even Super Chat so other people are part of the show. And, of course, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for everybody here today who shows up to make these shows so special. People like Kano, Steve Cooper, Mercenary, Mappius. We got Hexanort, Gillum, T. Siddons. Been a while. Been a hot minute. Toads. And many more. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing those coffees. I'm going to keep brewing my coffee, and we're going to keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.